taxes, inflation, and the breakdown of the family are causing us to fall behind. We have the lowest net worth in the United States, and I'm sure those numbers cross the border as well.
Some people get the disability tax credit and they don't open the registered disability savings plan, and that's where the government puts in all the money of grants and bonds for a person with a disability who has done all the steps. Some people don't do all the steps.
What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And since 2020, our team that works on that has reached out directly and indirectly to over 400,000 dads, fathers, and male caregivers around the world. And as always, I'd like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. We're broadcasting live on Friday, March 21st out of the greater Toronto area. And we're looking forward to another great conversation today. I see people are in the room already. All right. So what I'm going to do right off bat, right out of the gate, if you are watching this on the Dr. Vibe Show channel, and the last week or two, we've been, I'd say, engaging with some new software. And what we want to do today is, as always, if you're in the YouTube chat, type in what city you are watching from. I'd love you just to put in the comments section on YouTube, type in your city and hit enter. Just want to see where people are watching from. Other than that, let's see what's going on already. Good morning, Michelle Baptiste. What is up? JJ Mars, good morning. Hope you are doing fine. Michelle said, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, hold on. All right. Okay. Now, Michelle, you need to put Exeter, Ontario, Canada. So just make sure, yeah, because I'm going to show, and this is the thing with this new software. It's really good, but what we got to do is put our country into, because sometimes you'll have a city in the same city that has in more than one country. You need to do that. I'm going to just show you where this is all about. All right. So Dr. Vibe's going to do this. Dr. Vibe's going to do this. And it'll just show you the global map on what's going on this morning, people where they're chiming in from. All right. Let's do this. Okay. All right. So we got people in countries all over the world. We have the continent of Africa. We have the continent of Europe. Well, Exeter, Michelle, if you put Exeter, Canada, that will be better because it's thinking Exeter in London. But we have people in North America. As you can see, we have people in Africa. And I have had some feedback about this software saying it needs the font needs to be bigger. I will certainly take that back to them. So we got people on 2 different continents, North America and Africa. So I'll keep a track on that. What's been going on with Dr. Vibe this week? Okay, actually some more things. So JJ Mars says Aurora. And I hope I get this. And if I get the name wrong, it's my head, not my heart. Chesu Bowa. Now I wonder if there's a relationship there. From Zambia, good morning. Syed Henry Fati, Toronto. Syed, unfortunately, well, good. You said Toronto. This only works right with my YouTube channel. So if you go on my YouTube channel, that would be great. All right. Michelle, that's correct. It says Exeter, Ontario, Canada. Shirley Ho, Toronto, Canada. And Chesu Bowa says, yes, I did it right. I got their name right. Yes, 100%. 100%. And and thank you everyone for walking through this engagement process with this new software. We're going to be using it more and more because I've been told by others it's a good, but I have to give them the feedback. The font can be a little bit small. So we're just going to update everybody. So we've got a little bit of everything going on. Okay, let me get rid of that. So there you go. So we have, I know that right here is JJ Mars because he's in Colorado. Shirley and Michelle, that's Toronto. And we got some people out of Europe. We got some people out of Africa. What? All right. What's Fitness Guy Q says Scarborough. Yes. Champy. Good morning, Dr. Vibe. Good morning back. Hope you're doing well. Teresa Boa. I am also watching from Zambia. We've got the African posse in the house tonight. Today. You'll find out why in just a moment. Fitness IQ Cam says morning migraine central though. Okay, well, we hope that this is better. Champy says Pickering. Yes, I love it. Family, you are right in this software. I love it. Especially if you're on YouTube, the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. This is going so crazy. I'm not getting a chance to share a little about what's going on with me this week. I believe on Monday's show, I said I had to go downtown. Was it Monday or Tuesday I had to go downtown? Was it Monday? I think it was Tuesday. All right. I had to go downtown on Tuesday. And Dr. Vibe doesn't like doing the downtown traffic thing too much, especially in Toronto. It went fine. Had an amazing meeting at a Caribbean restaurant. Oh, what was the name of the place? I can't remember, but there was a business associate who was coming in from Edmonton, and she was in for a few meetings. We had an incredible 2-hour conversation, and she loves Caribbean food. Hey, Neil Erskine, what is up? Good morning. Good morning, Neil. Hope you're doing well. Getting back, so we had a great conversation, and this lady said her mother grew up, and obviously she's non-melanated, but her mother's 2 favorite artists were, when her mother was alive, was Bob Marley, and what was the other gentleman's name? I can't remember, but Bob Marley. And she loved the food. She goes, I love spicy food. And we had a great conversation. And then, believe it or not, Dr. Vibe was downtown again the next day. Oh, Lord. The next day, going to a great meeting of other business people. And there were 2 ladies that shared they have started their own organization that helps formerly incarcerated individuals start their own entrepreneur business. Fascinating story. The 2 ladies. One of the ladies I had met before, and I know she was getting this ready to go. The other lady, her partner, was formerly incarcerated for about 3 or 4 years. Here's an interesting story, and I may have mentioned on Monday. I don't think I did, because I don't think it was there. You were there with me on Tuesday or Wednesday. This lady, while she was incarcerated, started to crave a love of popcorn. And some people in the Greater Toronto area may know about this story. She loved popcorn. When she got out, she came up with the idea of starting her own popcorn business and distributing popcorn all over the place. And it has gone gangbusters. Here's the funny thing. When she was saying her story about being incarcerated and starting her business, the lady beside me said, oh, yeah, I was at the Toronto Maple Leafs game last night and I was eating your popcorn. Hello. This 2 ladies are starting their business. They got a funder that has given them $600,000 to start their service. And I guess this is one of the biggest challenges, people who look like us, getting that funding to start a goal, dream, and desire is always challenged. Hey, and I go through that too periodically. Hey, where's the money at? We're going to get the money. These 2 ladies really challenged me in a good way. They got $600,000. It's quite impressive. Hey, good morning, Dr. Tachi. How are you doing this morning? Hope you are fine and safe. We'll be mentioning you in just a moment. All right. So it is all good. What else has been going on? Yesterday was like a whirlwind. There were so many conversations, so many things that went on yesterday. Like I said, so Dr. Tachi, I'm going to put this out. I don't know if you remember back in the Blab days. Do you remember a gentleman named Leon from England? Do you remember him? Okay, Kachima says, wow. Yeah, that was an amazing story. And there were other people. And one of the nice things about this organization is everyone has to introduce themselves. And what they say is, we don't want you to spend much, 45 seconds. We don't want you to share what you do. We want you to know, what do you need help with? Nice reversal. What do you need help with? Not what you do, what do you need help with? And you get 45 seconds to chat about that. Really, and when I got up there, said my thing, and like 3 people said, hey, Dr. Vibe, I can help you with this, I can help you with this. So not who you are, what you need help with. And when you're in a room of like-minded people, an environment of like-minded people, it was magic. It was magic. It was magic. So I have to spend somehow today following up with a lot of these people, but it was some wonderful things that went on. So Kachima says, wow. She also says, that's really inspiring. Yes, it is. Actually, I'm gonna see if they want to come on the show. And Dr. Taji says, yes, Leon, yes. And you came up in I brought you up in the conversation, and I told the great things you are and will be doing. We need to chat offline about that. There's some interesting things that he is working on, but it was so good to catch up with Leon. Wonderful. Just other things. I was having conversations about how we can level up the Morning Vibe show yesterday. It was all over. It was all over. But you know what? It's not about me. I'm the boring part of today's conversation. I'm the boring part of every conversation. All right. We will go for a break, and we're going to come back. We are going to come back with a new friend. And I think we'll come back in about 30 seconds. And we got another exciting conversation. So hang tight. We're back in 30 seconds. Aisha K. Staggers and Laura Lala here in the house. What is up?
The thing that Democrats should take away from the loss isn't what Harris did wrong so much, so it's what they did wrong.
And I'm going to tell you right now, we are the ones who are going to have to save our own selves. Don't be looking for some white man to come and save you.
The people who created the phrase "stay woke" are like, woke ideology. We would have never put those together. And then what is that ideology? Oh, you mean differences? Oh, you mean people who aren't like you?
What is up? Yes, Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala. Live Saturday afternoons, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific, which is tomorrow. If you're watching this live, or watching it on Friday, March 21st, which is tomorrow. Looking forward to another epic conversation with 2 of the smartest people I know. All right, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. So I'm going to encourage, it looks like we have some new people on the YouTube channel today. If you're up to it and you like what you're hearing, I don't know about seeing. I don't know if I'm that handsome. Maybe the shiny head, you like that. If you like what you're hearing, what you're seeing, I would encourage you to subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube. We have now passed 1,720 subscribers clean. Yay. That is a good thing. And I've been watching a lot of stuff on YouTube lately, doing a lot of grinding in regards to getting knowledge from people that I respect in regards to YouTube. And I watched something even up to last night, and I'm now looking to share my content on another platform. And I'm getting some mentorship in regards to that from a very special live stream coach. And she does great things. She gives a lot of free game, lots and lots of free game. And I was on her live stream recently, and she goes, Dr. Vibe, I love your picture. And she lives in Texas. She goes, y'all, check out Dr. Vibe's picture. I just went, OMG. All right. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Want to encourage you to do that. And actually, that was another thing yesterday. Someone asked me to start a Discord group for Black men. Gonna do it. Absolutely. And see our new friend for the day. She's giving her approval. She's nodding her head. There we go. Advertise your business, product, or service on our platform. Please feel free to email me, dr.vibe at the dr.vibeshow.com. Indie Soup TV. So when you saw Dr. Tachi's name on the screen, she is the power behind Indie Soup TV, independent content creators platform. Started a little over 9 months ago, over 25,000 YouTube subscribers. 25,000 YouTube subscribers. And I also say, realize this, only 4% of all YouTube channels have over 10,000 subscribers. Dr. Tachi has done this with a group of people, but she's the lead in 9 months. So check it out on YouTube. There's a link there at Indie Soup Media on YouTube. I'm blessed to be a member, advisory board member, and also provide a lot of content on the platform. All right. That's it for now. Okay. Now we are going to showcase a new friend today. And let me just, first things first, huge thanks has to go, as always, to ByBlacks, which is Black Canada's #1 online magazine. And they are so, Camille and Roger are so nice. When I read something on their platform, say, Camille, do I have permission to contact this writer so I can get them on the platform? He says, yeah, Dr. Vibe, no problem. And by the way, Camille was on another one of my shows, Black Canada Talking, earlier on this week. Please check that out. 100%. But today we're going to be chatting about a story called The Nice Canadian, Real or Fake. You know, Canadians have this reputation of being nice people. And we have the writer, the driving force behind that story on our platform today. But there is a but. I'm gonna give her a royal introduction first. So Chesu Bowa was born and raised in Zambia, Africa. So that's why you're seeing some people from Africa today, aka Ches. She discovered her love for writing at the age of 9, weaving words into vivid stories that reflected her deep imagination and passion for storytelling. Ches has worked on projects with Buzzfeed Toronto, Maple Life TV, ByBlacks Magazine, and started her own writing page dedicated to poems, life experiences, and much more. She holds an associate degree in liberal arts and science from Niagara College, where she studied. Well, she did graduate too, but she studied Canadian literature, philosophy through film, diversity and inclusion, and communication strategies. So, welcome for the first time, and hopefully not the last time. What's up, Ches? Am I allowed to call you Ches?
Yeah, you can call me Ches. Hi, Dr. Vibe.
Hi, how are you this morning?
I am doing good. It's sunny. I'm happy.
Good. And Michelle Baptiste says, that's amazing. All right, Michelle. She's already putting comments. That's amazing. And
Thank you.
I see you have your fan club, right? I see Kachima says she probably said putting us on the map. All right. And Dr. Tachi says, wow, welcome.
Thank you.
All right. So people are already loving you, and you haven't even really done anything yet on the show, but that's fantastic.
Yes,
that is fantastic. All right. So what we like to do, as always, is can you share a little bit of background about yourself other than the wonderful thing I just shared about you?
Oh my God, yes. I'll just expand on it a little bit. So peak COVID season, was studying online, got approved to come to Canada. And I did half of my course back home because it was COVID. And then during lockdown, I came here as an international student to study and just follow my dreams for writing. And my parents supported me, brought me here. My mom, she was here like a few years ago. And so it was like a full circle moment for me to be able to come back. And came here and lived in Niagara for a little bit, left once I graduated, moved to Markham, lived in a shared house there. And then, yeah, and then moved to Oakville, which Oakville is beautiful. Oh my God. It is beautiful. And then finally, I found my way to the GTA area in downtown Toronto. And then now here we are, and Young and Eglinton. So I've moved so many times.
Yeah, we were chatting before we went live. Say one of the most challenging things in life for a lot of people is moving.
Yes.
But you have done it successfully a number of times.
A number of times, yeah.
And plus you are having an addition of the family coming soon.
Yeah.
When is that scheduled to happen?
Oh my God. We're not even sure yet. Hopefully.
Okay.
Hopefully sometime in December.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Thank
And
you.
on behalf of the Morning Vibe family and Dr. Vibe, we're speaking. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful pregnancy and delivery.
Amen. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Absolutely. All right. Other things too, as we get, wow, the people are coming in. Well, you've got this comment already. Mugu, and if I pronounce names wrong, it's my head, not my heart. Mugu Natu says, my favorite writer is here.
That's my husband.
Oh. All right. Yes, my favorite writer is here. All right. Well, he better say that, right?
He has to.
He has a choice, but he better, right?
Yeah.
All right. I have a myriad of conversations to ask, to go to. So the first thing I would ask is, what inspired you to write? Okay, actually, before I go forward, another interactive thing for the audience. Another interactive thing. Going to put up here. And because we all, if you're on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, another interactive we're going to put up here right quick. All right, let's get to it quickly. Bear with me, folks. All right. First, we'll take the first 10 people. We're going to put it up here, right now. All right. So it's a one-word answer. And the question is, what is the first word that comes to you when it comes to Canadians and being nice?
Mm-hmm.
We'll take that offline. And actually, we have been joined by Ryan Knight. What is up, Ryan Knight, my co-host?
Hey, good to see you. Good to see you.
Good. How was the walk of the kiddies to school today?
It was crisp, a little bit chilly, but
Okay.
you know, it's all good.
All right. So we're just getting into the conversation. So again, I'm going to ask, what inspired you to write The Nice Canadian, Real or Fake?
Oh, that's a good question. I think before the article was birthed, there were many conversations I was having within my family, within people in my community, within other immigrants, almost like a survey conversation, almost like, am I thinking, you thinking the same thing too, right? Like, I'm not great, So it was like that, going back and forth, sharing my experience and hearing that other people actually feel the same way. So it was more so something that everybody knew, but no one really wrote about. It was not on the face of news outlets. So the impression you get when you are outside of Canada is very different. So that's what inspired me was it was inner conversations, tableside conversations. And then I was like, how do I put this into an article? How do I make this readable? How do I make this relatable? How do I put this into a story?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So was there something that triggered it? Because I think you were talking about it with your family. And I know I always wonder, like, the instinct for us to say sorry, even if we're the person that bumped into somebody, weird quirks like that. But was there a triggering moment that you said, you know what, I got to do an article about this? Because
that's a good question. I don't think there was a singular moment. I think it was a buildup of things that brought me to that point of like, okay, I've gathered up enough information to back up like my conclusion.
Gotcha.
So I feel like it was it was small things that built up into this moment of like, you know what, maybe I should write about this. Maybe someone will relate to this.
Gotcha.
Did any of your personal experiences or observations shape your perspective?
Yes, definitely. Personal experiences and observations for sure. I think I'll just go back to me being an international student. I think that was my first aha moment. And usually when you are in the setting of being an international student on campus, at least in Niagara College, it's a little bit of a safety net because you're on campus res. You haven't really experienced the real Canada, like you haven't really come out of that space. So I think for me, it was trying to now move from campus res to now getting accommodation outside of campus. And that's when my experiences now kind of shifted. So I'm going on Roomy and I'm, messaging people and I'm having such good interactions with them. And we're like online, we're having these great conversations, good interactions. And then when it comes to actually giving me the place or the spot, there's no direct, okay, I don't want to give this to you because of this. It's kind of like it goes from being nice to just being ghosted.
Right. Totally passive. Like,
yes, very passive. And it was such a culture shock for me because where I come from, it's like, we didn't like this and we don't want this and we didn't like that. So we're not going to take you because of that.
yes, exactly.
It's very direct. And for me, the shock was, why such warmness and kindness and sweetness only for it not to be genuine? So that was like one of my personal experiences that I had that kind of made me be like, okay, I have to work around things a little differently.
Gotcha.
I like that. All right. Just want to update people on our little wordgram that's going on right now in regards to, and we have a few people that responded. We can certainly take more, but he said, what is the first word that comes to you when it comes to Canadians and being nice? So some of the things people are saying: courteous, maybe, possibly, obligatory, fake. So if you are watching this live on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, one word, answer this question, type it in the comments and press enter, and it will show up on the screen. I want to continue also with, how do you define the concept of Canadian niceness?
That's my question. Yes. Okay.
You're the star of the show today.
Yeah. How do I define the concept of Canadian niceness? To me, it's more on the surface. It's like peeling a banana. It's like really surface. It's not really meant to be an invitation for something more. It really is what it is. It starts and it ends there. So to me, Canadian niceness is more of a surface. I'll go further and say maybe a cultural front, maybe a unified front. The way some people in different cultures may be known for being, let's say, more inclined to specific attire, right? It's kind of the same concept. It's a cultural, agreeable, like just on the surface, like nothing more, nothing less. It's not an invitation. It's just what it is. So that's how I'll describe it.
Cool. Ryan, do you want to add? I got more.
Well, I'm curious, that surface layer niceness. So how is that confusing, or how does it contradict what people think of Canadians outside of Canada? Because a lot of times you only hear the stereotypes. So I'm curious, how does it differ from what you're seeing outside of Canada and how we're perceived?
That's a very good question. I think for me specifically, I'm gonna talk about my experience because I'm not sure how anybody else sees it. But from the outside looking in, when you when someone is described to you as nice, you imagine that they are nice in its in its completeness, like including warm, inviting, like almost like taking you in kind of a thing, if that makes sense.
That's in my mind. Like they invite you to their house, and
Exactly.
And
not hospitality, and not only that, like they will put you on game. Like there's no gatekeeping. There's no, there's no pretentiousness to it. It's very genuine. So when somebody tells me that that person is nice, that's what I'm expecting.
Gotcha.
And then when I came and I lived the experience, it was a different kind of nice.
So if it isn't genuine nice, how would you describe the nice? Like if we were to put a definition to it.
If I was to describe the Canadian nice, like living,
that you experienced,
like I said, to me it would be more surface level, not always genuine. More so a means to avoid conflict or confrontation or speaking the truth, maybe a little bit more passive.
Gotcha.
And yeah, that's how I would describe it.
All right. I just want to jump in here. Inspired Thought says not to be something more, correct? And Dr. Tachi's asks, was it like a nice nasty?
Wow. Maybe maybe I would say more like, have you ever met someone who's passive aggressive? Sometimes it can manifest that way. Sometimes it can be like, you did really great with that. It's like it's like nice, but the undertone is has a little bit of spice to it. So sometimes it can come off that way.
Okay.
Well, you can hear you didn't get it in the tone, like especially job interviews where they're trying to tell you you didn't get it, and it's like they can't get it out their mouth. It's like, you're just, you did great, but you did great. I mean, you are amazing. And it's like it won't. And you're like, holy smokes! I've ever heard the no, but they haven't said no. Very odd.
There you go. I'm just going to put up our word cloud, and I'm going to be stopping in just a second. But here are some of again, what is the first word that comes to you when it comes to Canadians being nice? We got aggressive, pseudo, courteous, possibly, nice, nasty. Dr. Tachi, the nice, nasty, maybe, fake, behavior, passive, obligatory. So I'm going to end that for now. But I just want, and again, always thank the live audience on the YouTube channel for engaging. We're going to take that down, and then Hayden says, would it be just a performative nice?
Okay. Huh.
Okay. All right. I want to ask this conversation piece up. I got a whole bunch of things going on my screen right now, but the next thing I'd like to have a chat about is, do you think this stereotype is more about politeness or genuine kindness?
Oh. So what do you mean? Do you mean like people have like? Do you mean Canadians are more polite than kind, or?
Yes.
I think so. I think maybe the appropriate word would be polite, but not really kindness. Maybe. I think so.
Can you repeat that, because your audio went for a second?
Oh, it went for a second. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, when you said it's more, is it about politeness or kindness?
Yeah.
And if I was to have to pick either or to describe Canadians, I would say more politeness than kindness, where it's like, how you're raised with your mom in the house. You have to be polite. You can't be rude. You want a piece of cracker, you have to say please. You want me to make you dinner, you have to say thank you. It's about the politeness. It's about upbringing, but you can be polite without being kind. Like,
All right. Yeah.
you can be polite because you feel that you have to be, or you were raised in that way, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're kind.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, maybe a relative of yours, Teresa Bowa, is saying, "Wow, this is fun. I am learning a lot."
Nice,
And
nice.
Neil Erskine says Canadians can say no with a smile or be negative with pleasantness. Interesting.
Okay.
And then Inspired Thought says, I have found Canadian niceness to be regional. I love Quebecers for their direct communication and truthfulness as compared to the Ontarians who are more inclined to be polite but passive aggressive. Oh,
Gotcha.
okay. And Chesu, if you have any comments or responses to what we're putting up on the screen, more than happy. You don't have to just nod your head. You can comment if you want. You have anything to say on that comment by Inspired Thoughts?
I completely agree. I mean, I haven't lived in different parts of Canada much. I've mostly moved around Ontario, and I say like his breakdown of it is really accurate.
Okay, good stuff. Yeah, so in your research, did you find that Canadians are truly nice, or is it more of a social expectation?
Honestly, I feel like it's more of a social expectation and a cultural expectation. Yeah, like again, going back to the home, the family, it's kind of like when you're in the house, like mom is like, you can't cuss, okay? Like you can you can you can try and so you kind of wire yourself to be like, okay, in certain settings, right? I have to watch my mouth. I have to watch what I say. I have to, there's certain, whereas some other people are just naturally more direct, right? They're naturally more direct. So I think it's definitely a social thing. I think it's definitely a cultural thing. And I think there is also an underlining clique culture to it as well. Like there's a certain clickiness about it. So I think that's another thing.
So when you say that, you mean like if you're not part of the in group, or if you're not in the posse, then you're kind of excluded?
Yes, 100%. Like in the article I wrote about this as well, where it's like a lot of not just Black immigrants, right? Immigrants in general. Because when I went to Niagara College, we were just a group of immigrants who had just come during COVID time. And we talked about this as well. We found it very difficult to get into inner cliques or of Canadians because we figured that it's kind of like, again, a cultural difference. And we found most people who were friends or in cliques had grown up together, went to the same high school, went to the same secondary school, went to daycare together, and that's how they formed this group and this clique. And which is not wrong, but I mean, there's advantages and disadvantages to everything, right? And coming from our cultures, it's just different because you're friends with whoever you're friends with, right? Sometimes it's even the opposite, where it's like who you went to high school with or who you went to kindergarten with is not who you grow up befriending.
Gotcha.
So it was just like so different, like a heavy clique culture for sure.
So I wonder with us Canadians, and before I ask a question about, I was curious the difference between Caribbean, or I would say Black Canadians versus white Canadians. Are you seeing those that, because I was born here, my parents are from Jamaica, so are you seeing Black Canadians that are born into this culture? Do they adopt that same surface level niceness, or is it kind of outside of our culture that you're seeing more of that passive niceness?
Ooh, that's a good question. And honestly, I feel like it's a case by case basis.
Okay.
for sure. I am mostly seeing it in outside our culture, so in maybe predominantly white Canadian circles. I feel like that's where it is. But then there is within our community sometimes people who adapt that culture. And I think that it has to do with, and I wrote about this in the article, tokenism sometimes. So normally if somebody has, come to that point, or they find themselves in predominantly white circles again, it would be, you would experience that. But for the most part, I have been included in when it comes to Black Canadians for sure. Like I haven't experienced that. I've been welcomed. I've been embraced.
Okay, cool.
Good stuff. I have a question for you. You highlight the issue of superficial niceness, such as saying, quote, have a good one, unquote, without meaning it. Can you provide any examples of this superficiality and explain its impact it has on genuine connection?
Wow. Okay. This is an interesting one because my husband actually didn't completely agree with some of the parts. He was like, "What? It's like ending. It's what is wrong with it?"
Okay. Yes.
And for me, again, like it was just like I guess because I am a natural intuitive person and I naturally read into things more. Sometimes it feels dismissive. So you're having a conversation with someone and it's like, okay, can you have a good one? Okay, like they don't want to continue the conversation, but they don't want to say, hey, I'm done with the conversation. I'm really not interested in connecting anymore. It's more so like, have a good one. It's like false pleasantries, right? Ways to wrap up a conversation, which again to me was just a cultural shock, because again you come from different worlds where it's just more direct. It's I want to talk about this now. I don't really want to talk about this now. So
Okay.
yeah, but it's definitely up for debate for sure.
Do you find it's that same concept where it's like people ask, how are you? And everybody's just good?
Yeah. I think it's the same concept. It's kind of like, yeah, how are you? Have a good one, 2, 3. Like I don't know. So it's like that, yeah.
All right. Just want to jump in. We're talking with Chesu Bowa about her article, The Real Canadian, or The Nice Canadian, Real or Fake. You can catch the article here. I'm going to share it on the platforms, on most of the platforms, but there is a link if you want to catch that. Also, if you want to follow her on Instagram, there it is too. I'll put that on most of the platforms where you're watching this live on the replay. But we got to catch up. We got a pile of comments to catch up on.
Oh,
so
wow.
notes. Hey, you got your fire. Your fire. So Neil Erskine says it's the kindness that gets everyone. Canadians are good at being polite. Dr. Tachi says we have a lot of people from Quebec in South Florida. They are not that nice, nor are they that polite. Dr. Tachi, all right. And Inspired Thought says, agreed that this is a cultural expectation. As an immigrant, I also found this jarring and very frustrating. BM, what is up, BM? Who I usually see on Sunday nights on Black Men Can Talk. So true. People don't want to associate with people they didn't grow up with.
Gotcha.
Kachima says, facts. Inspired Thought says, Ryan, my answer is yes, there is a cultural difference between Canadians and immigrant Blacks. And then BM says, our community is more direct in showing who they don't like, especially to other Black people they don't like, in my experience. Ooh, very good. Very good. We got lots of good comments. Give them another. And this is another interesting thing that maybe people wouldn't expect from the article. You connect Canadian niceness to feelings of isolation and loneliness, referencing Vancouver's ranking as a lonely city.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And reported percentage of Canadians feeling lonely. How do you see superficiality of niceness contributing to this sense of isolation?
Wow, like in so many ways, in so many aspects, right? So I briefly was working for a startup located in Vancouver, and from them I got to learn different experiences, and they would go in the streets and do street interviews. And apparently, in Vancouver, click culture is even more rampant, right?
Yeah.
And I think it can make one feel lonely because it's not knowing how to maneuver around it. And that's the biggest thing. Like, the article wasn't meant to be a critique. It was more meant to be a dog whistle, so that other Black Canadians or immigrants could come in knowing what to expect.
Right.
And me coming in during the COVID time, where it's at the height of George Floyd, right? I'm thinking Canada is better, right? I'm thinking the US is, you know what I'm trying to say? But when you come here and you experience something so different and it's not obvious, it takes a toll on your mental health. And you start to question, who is actually for me? Who has my back? Who are my friends really? Who can I count on? Right? And again, when people are more direct, because you deal with these things regardless, but when people are more direct, it helps you maneuver around that. It helps you know what you're working with. But when people are not direct enough, it's so hard. It's so hard, and it can make you feel lonely.
Yeah, and it's interesting how you explained it, making you feel like you don't know where you stand. So people that you're talking to, you actually don't know what the relationship really is. Is this a person that I can call on and talk about things that are bothering me? Or is this a person, like you said, that's going to put me on game, help me get through to different opportunities? But when you start to realize that they're not that person, I could see you feel almost betrayed. Like you'd feel, I thought we were at a certain level in our relationship, but it turns out that was all fake. And it's like, who else is fake around me? It's like, it just makes you get very defensive. So I was curious, you said it's kind of a message out to those coming into Canada. What would be the warning? Like, how can a person now prepare themselves? So they're coming to Canada, they're immigrating, they might have a certain perception of Canada. So how would you prepare them to now interact and go to school here and to work here?
Honestly, just to go back to touch a little bit on what we were talking about before, completely true. Like, you don't know where you stand, and the biggest thing is you waste a lot of time.
Yes.
With people who don't actually have any business helping you. Right? So I will communicate personally. What I found helpful was just kind of interacting with people from my community right off the jump, right? Interacting with people from my community. Like, when it comes to where I needed to stay, where I wouldn't even waste time anymore. I'll go directly see my people and be like, hey, I need help. And know that way they would at least be direct with me. Hey, I can't help you because of this. You're not what I'm looking for. Or I can help you because of this. So I think for me, it would be like, the advice I would give is right off the bat, like, find the people from your community. They are more likely to help you. It's more likely that you'll be able to navigate that cultural difference better. Because if they can't help you, they will be direct about it. And you will find someone who will want to help you. And that is personally how I have navigated these spaces. I do not see any other way, unless you are a unicorn and you are absolutely, extremely, really good at what you do. Undeniably good at what you do, which is rare. Like, a lot of us need experience, a lot of us need connections, a lot of us need people, which is like another point I would bring, is just connecting with people who genuinely want to help you, which is something that only time would be able to tell. One thing that I thought here coming into Canada was that, because back home, the culture is that your degree is enough, your education is enough. But here I find it's more about who you know and
Okay.
who is willing to help you. So I would say for me, that would be like the biggest advice I
Okay.
would give.
Just to jump in, some more comments. Someone who says, as this beautiful lady has pointed out, I wonder who said that. I think Canadian niceness is something acquired from the home and expected in culture. God teaches us kindness is the greatest way to love, not necessarily the Canadian niceness. All right. Kachima says, so true, Megu, not the godly type of kindness. And then Kachima says, I see the directness as the best type of kindness someone that can offer. Interesting comments. Interesting comments. You know what you just shared that made me think about have you heard of the term code switch?
Yes. Yes.
What you just shared of the last one was I'm thinking like sometimes we have to code switch.
Yeah.
We have to code switch in order to make things happen. Another conversation, because it seems that you like my crazy questions. I want to ask. Got a number of things here. Okay. So your article touches on the racial aspect of Canadian niceness, suggesting that the experience can differ for immigrants. Can you elaborate on how the perception and experience of niceness may vary for Black Canadians compared to the dominant culture?
Huh. Wow. Honestly, it's really, and you know, people were going in the comments back and forth on Instagram about this, and I feel like there was a gentleman who put it perfectly. And he said, like, really, it's under the table, right? I would say like the racism here is more, it's not direct. It's more undercover, it's more under the carpet, it's kind of swept up, right? And then he said in the comment section, in his words, you get a wake-up call when you get fired from your job. You get a wake-up call when you get ousted out of a business deal. And then in comparison, there's the US where it's just straight, direct, and upfront. So I would think for us, it's just because we are a minority, we tend to experience it just, it's under the table. We wake up one day and then we get that wake up call.
Okay. Ryan, you're on mute.
Yeah, that's where I was thinking. How do we protect ourselves from that? Because if it's under the table, are there better questions that we can ask that actually will get direct responses? Because I find when I'm looking at, let's say, partnerships, and they're very passive in the way they're saying like, oh, okay, yeah, let me think about it. I'll get back to you. Oh, it sounds great. That the timing is like all these just yes or no. So is there better questions that we can ask to say like to actually get the actual answer out of people instead of, because I think if we ask soft questions, we get soft answers. So I'm wondering if we could do better at that.
I feel like, and I wrote about this in the article as well, the niceness is also a shield. So I don't think it matters how direct you want to be about it. It's like a shield. It's not moving. It's not going anywhere. It's heavily woven into the culture. And I think there is nothing that we can do about it, but we have to, the only thing we could possibly do is observe, because time tells everything. We have to be able to use our intuition and be able to look in very quickly, like in hindsight, is this really gonna work out or it's not? And am I wasting my time or I need to go somewhere else? And I feel like lastly, it's just about helping each other, like pulling each other up. So if one person is able to get in, they're able to bring others with them. And for me, I really saw it that way. Like, I am here, I'm living this experience. Should I lie about it? Or the tool that I have is the truth that could possibly help someone else when they're coming in to navigate it well. So I feel like that's the only tool. It's really time. It's really finding somebody in there, possibly from our community, who can help, and understanding that I don't think it's something that can really go away, but it's something that we just need to come to terms with.
Neil Erskine says, if you are an immigrant, the baseline should be your community to get grounded. Once you're comfortable, then you should spread out. Michelle says, I am not a proponent of cliques. All right, this is good. And another question, another conversation piece I have with you. You talk about the concept of two-faced narrative of Canadians. In your opinion, what are some of the ways this hidden narrative manifests itself?
Again, like, I've experienced this in the workplace. So I have definitely like worked in childcare, and I definitely think it's just workplace, like how corporate is structured, right? It's a little bit messy. It's a little bit like, there's a lot of drama here and there. But I think one interesting thing I found was you would have coworkers or your boss, and mostly Canadians, right, who would be so like, oh, I don't have a problem with you. I do not have any issue with what you are doing right now. Like, you are doing an amazing job. And then you later hear from other people, like, did you hear that they actually like do not like how you are performing and do not like what you're doing? So it's it's kind of like within their clique, they have where they confide in about maybe personality traits or aspects of you doing your work or whatever it is that they don't like, but they will never directly come and tell you that they do not like it. They would just wait, observe, give you like a secret timeline, and then wake up one day and be like, you're out. So that's kind of the whole two-faced thing. I guess it goes back to being passive aggressive, right? You're not direct with the person. And I had some immigrant coworkers, and they would be more direct with me. Hey, I don't like that you did this. Hey, this made me feel uncomfortable. Hey, can you not do that? And it's like, okay, thank you for letting me know. I didn't even know that that was a problem for you. So I guess to me, that's where the two-faced aspect comes from. I think it's also when it comes to making genuine friendships and connections. So a lot of people, again, have no interest or business in being your friend, right? They are comfortable with their clique and they're comfortable where they are, right? But instead of just telling you that, they kind of put you in this circle where it's, you think you are friends, but then you're not really friends. And it takes somebody from that clique to kind of lay it and be like, you are not in our, you thought you were in our circle? No.
Oh, man.
No, like, I talk to that person, they're so sweet to me, like I talk to them every now and then. And it's that two-faced, right? Like just living a double life. And yeah, that's just, I feel like where I was trying to come from with that part of the article.
All right, I know, Ryan, you have to jump off, so
yes, my apologies, but thanks for shedding light on this topic. I'm going to be now observing a bit more in my travels and on my interactions. So good meeting you, Chesu.
Take care, Ryan. Have a good day, Ryan. All right, we're going to continue on. We're just going to do a little bit of a reset here because there's a lot of you that are in here. A lot. We are hanging out. Oh, man, the lady of the day. I'm telling you, it's just like people got, the interaction is fantastic. Just going to do a little reset here. Okay, we got this. So we are speaking with Chesu Bowa about the nice Canadian, real or fake, on the Morning Vibe. Here's where you can catch the article on many of the platforms where you're watching this live on the replay. I've put this link. I've also put her contact information Instagram wise, and cannot forget ByBlacks. This is where the article is on. ByBlacks.com, Black Canada's #1 online news magazine. There's their website, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, YouTube. They're everywhere. Everywhere. All right. So they are all over the place in a good way. Also have some comments here. Neil says, more networking and communications in the work environment, stronger and smarter connections and support. Inspired Thought says, workplace drama, especially among women, is real. That person who is overly nice is often trying to get you fired.
Yeah.
All right. BM, so true about work cliques. It's especially rough when the clique is a group of managers, leaders that can affect your life career. You find out at review time or by being let go. Good commentary, people. Good stuff. All right. Another conversation because Chesu says she has time. So we're going in. We're going in. Okay. You talk about peach cultures versus coconut cultures. How do you believe the cultural difference contributes to the challenges faced by immigrant families in navigating Canadian social interactions?
Oh my God. I really have to shout out my dad because he's the one that I heard this concept from first. And, before, and I was so young at the time, but before coming, he let me know, there's a difference. There's peach cultures and coconut cultures. But I was like, I didn't understand what he was talking about at the time. And from his definition, basically a peach culture is just, a peach is soft, it's round on the outside. And then when you try to get through, there's this hard seed like shell, and it's so hard, and you cannot cut through the peach through that extent or through that point. And then most immigrant families or immigrant households, it's more of a coconut culture where it's like people may come off a little loud, a little rough around the edges, aggressive, like the coconut. And once you cut into that part, oh my God, so loving, so warm, just, the essence of a coconut, the milk, everything that you would get from a coconut. And to me, that perfectly applies in this scenario because, again, immigrant families, more direct, and that can be considered rude at times, but it's the culture of just being direct. It's the culture of directness, and they actually take you in as one of their own. Whereas when it comes to peach cultures, it's the kindness and the niceness or the politeness is a shield. And then when you try to actually get into the culture and get help and get direction or how to navigate things or be put on game, it's hard. It's completely hard to penetrate that.
That is a great analogy from your dad.
Yeah.
That is great. Is your dad still alive?
Yes, he is.
What has he read the article?
Yes, he read the article.
What has his feedback been?
Oh my God, he loved it, but he was nervous because he was like, are people going to be upset with you for writing about this? And then I was like, no, probably, I'm safe. Like I can walk in the streets. And he was like, oh, very nice article then. Lovely read.
If it was troublesome, it would have been not been a good article, right?
Yeah.
I got you. Then so you argue that the idealized Canadian niceness doesn't ring for everyone. What are some of the key complexities within the Canadian social landscape that challenge this myth of universal niceness?
Oh my God. There's again the racial aspect. I mean, I don't think it rings true for immigrants. I don't think it rings true for specifically all Black immigrants. And I'll even go further to say that there is a status quo attached to it. So, like anywhere in the world, the better you're doing, the better you're treated, I guess. And I feel like socioeconomic status also has something to do with it, where it's like if you are not on a specific socioeconomic status, you're gonna be treated differently. It's not gonna apply to you because another thing is people are out for what they can get, for who can help them, or who can be of use to them. Uh, People don't want anybody that's, they're gonna have to help or they're gonna have to bring up. Like a lot of people view themselves in a disadvantaged point already. Not a lot of people view themselves in a position to give or in a position to help. So if you are somebody who is of a certain community, if you're somebody who is from a lower socioeconomic class, you may not get that kindness. You may not get that politeness because why would you? What use would you be to that person? So I feel that that's why the Canadian niceness, it doesn't ring true for everyone.
Good stuff. Kachima, and I hope Kachima you subscribe to the channel because you are helping making this conversation happen. You go, Canadian life sounds ruthless. What do you think about that comment?
You know what? I don't know if it's ruthless, but I definitely think it's different from what has been portrayed.
Mm-hmm.
And
reality bites.
Reality
bites. Michelle says, I prefer the coconut culture. Let me ask then too, this perception of how does this influence how, in your opinion, how Canadians handle conflict or controversial issues?
How Canadians handle conflict or controversial issues? They don't.
Wow.
That may be a hot take up for debate. I don't think it's something that they really do. I think it's something that they avoid. And if they just got to a point where they're up to here, it's just you're out, or like they don't have to deal with you. Because sometimes for a lot of people, confrontation is scary. They would rather remove themselves from the situation or remove you from the situation. They wouldn't want to have a talk and wouldn't want to have a conversation because conversation means I have to be vulnerable. Conversation means I have to invite you in. Conversation means I have to let you know the real me. I have to let you know my quirks, what I like, what I don't like. And I don't want to put myself in a weaker position, right? So I'm going to remove myself or I'm going to remove you, right? But in a world where we can have a conversation and we can talk about it honestly, we can now be truly vulnerable with each other and see each other for who we really are. But in a world where there is a constant shield, nothing will be resolved because the reality is, I don't know the real you. I don't. I don't. So, yeah.
Good stuff. Kachima says, I did subscribe actually. Yes. And turn on the notifications. Yes. Thank you very much. Siobhan Chin says, hello, everyone. She also says, looking forward to seeing you, me. Well, I'm on one of the panels at the International Drone Day at Centennial College, May 3rd. Get your early tickets for a chance to win a drone. Also, you can get everything at flickfxevents.com. So good to have Dr. Chin with us today. Another question. How do you think Canadian media and entertainment contributes or challenges this stereotype?
this is, I think it's, I think the whole idea is for this stereotype to be protected as much as possible. I think there is a deliberate effort to portray Canada as being nice. And also there's this thing of like, we don't want to be compared to the US. We want to be better than the US.
Well, it's interesting with the time of political climate going on right now. This is a very interesting article that positioning and the writing this article, and that just asking, did the political climate that's going on right now influence you to write this at this time?
No, it was something it's actually something I'd been wanting to write for a long time, but I guess it just aligned perfectly. But you know, Canadians are carving out their own identity. They are carving out, they've always had their own identity, but now more than ever, they want to show, hey, we have our own identity. And part of Canadian identity is niceness, right? Is politeness. And that is the picture that they've painted the entire world, right? And they want to make sure that is intact. That's why if you type it in, almost every article, news outlet you see, Canadians are associated with being nice, right? Almost all the major outlets.
Is that in comparison to the US?
Yeah,
because the US is such a behemoth.
Yes.
Culturally and media wise, we pride ourselves being, we're not like the US, but we don't really compare ourselves to other countries.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's in comparison to, I would say it's in comparison to the US, and I think it's in comparison to the world at large. Like, I feel like Canadians in general, they want to be seen as, we are nice. We are not the US, right? We are not the US. The US is racist. They are direct about their racism. They're impolite. We're not that, right? But the truth is that Africans in the diaspora, they know the truth because we are living the experience. So of course, they're not going to promote a narrative that shows that, okay, there is another side to the story. There's another layer to this.
You bring the truth.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right. Teresa, yes, I have subscribed too. Love that. But I also want to hit the notification button too. Inspiring thoughts says, I loving this conversation. The questions are fire. Thank you. Okay, that is fantastic. Let's see what else I can chat it up with you about today. All right, got something else here. How has your view on Canadian niceness changed by writing this article?
So how has my own view on Canadian niceness changed?
If at all.
If at all. I feel like it's definitely changed from what I thought it was before coming into the country. It's definitely changed. And again, like I said, from the outside looking in, you expect it to be so genuine, right? And then now coming in, you realize, okay, it's not the same for all. It's not the same for all. And I think for me, it's kind of given me perspective, and it's helped me face the truth. You know, it's so different thinking these thoughts in your head, or having these conversations with your brother, your sister, your spouse, your friends. It's so different, right? Because you think, well, these people are around me, they're bound to think like me. But when you write something, it's real. It's real because you have to prove what you're writing. You have to gather all the facts. And in that research, you realize that, wait, this is not my experience. This is Jamal's experience, Letitia's experience. This is everyone has a similar story. And it just makes it more real. And it also it's kind of freeing in a way, because I think the whole idea is that you're meant to think that it's in your head. You're meant to think that nobody else is going through this experience. But when you write it, it's healing, because you know that you're not the only one going through this experience. You're not the only one trying to navigate this culture. So I feel like that's definitely how it's shaped my perspective on the topic.
Okay. I'm going to try and get this name right. As always, it's my head, not my heart. Naganga says, loving this conversation. I'm learning so much. The conversation on the difference between Canadians and the US was really eye-opening. Also says, I wonder whether Canadians are slowly converging towards American niceness. What are your thoughts on that question?
Wow, that's a good question. And honestly, I don't know. Again, I think it's up for discussion, because as another commenter said, Quebec is a little bit different completely, that they're more direct, they're more honest about it. So who knows? Maybe it will get to a point where it's more direct and honest, but just the hope would be that, and this is what I tell my partner all the time. My hope and my desire is that people are judged for their morality, not for their social economic status or their skin or anything. My hope is that one day a culture will be built where it's about your morality, it's about your principles, rather than it's about your accolades or the skin that you wear. And that would be the most ideal situation. And I don't think Canada necessarily has to become the US niceness in order to be better. But I think just the passive aggressiveness and all of that could kind of cease into maybe balancing the two worlds and still being able to be polite and kind and nice without removing honesty and genuineness.
Right. As someone who has started your own writing page dedicated to poems, life experiences, and more, how do you see this article fitting within your broader body of work and your goals as a writer?
Wow. That is a good question. I think, honestly, this article, it fits into my body of work because, again, I am somebody who loves the truth. I love honesty. I love vulnerability. I prefer somebody being honest. And so it fits me completely because I strive to do that in my everyday life. I strive to do that in everything that I do, is to be honest, is to be genuine, is to be real. Because I feel that that's the only way true freedom really comes from. I feel like if you are not honest with yourself, if you're not honest with others, you'll never truly be free. But if you're honest with yourself, if you're honest with others, some people may not like it, but at least it's the truth. And at least you're free. So this body of work, it just fits my goal of just writing in a very transparent way. And yeah, it's a piece I'm really proud of.
Wonderful. Your article ends by stating the importance of challenging the myth of Canadian niceness. What are some concrete steps you feel can be taken to foster more genuine and inclusive social interactions in Canada?
You said, what are some concrete steps?
Yeah, what are some to foster more genuine and inclusive social interactions in Canada?
Oh my God. That's a really nice question. That's a really hard question. Some concrete steps. I think it's just, I guess it's just people willing to put themselves out there and let every guard down. I don't think it's anything that we are not doing, right? When you talk about things like Afrofest, or you talk about things like within our community and you see other communities coming in and chiming in and connecting with us, well, we're kind of doing the same by being here. I think in those efforts where we can experience each other's cultures in a more lighthearted experience, I think that's like the only way to really kind of break through. It's kind of like sitting with someone at the table. And my dad and my parents would always say, like, if you come to my house and you don't sit and have a meal with me, I take offense, because do you really like me, or you just came to see what I'm doing in my house? So it's I think just having these hard conversations, having these tough conversations, initiating them, and creating a good environment, whether it's cultural fests, whether it's a dinner, whether it's a lunch, but really experiencing things from the other person's point of view. I feel like that those are the practical steps that we could take.
This has been an epic conversation.
Wow.
And we're still not done yet, but I'm going to involve the audience in a live engagement right now. So as we're coming to the end, but we're not there yet.
Okay.
Yet. I want people in short few words give their thoughts on this question. If you are watching live on my YouTube channel, we want to put up this engagement right now in just a few words after hearing what our wonderful friend has shared with us. When it comes to niceness, what are your thoughts about Canadians? We did a little bit, so we did a one word at the beginning of the conversation. Now we're coming to the end of our conversation. What are your thoughts after hearing all of this? When it comes to niceness, what are your thoughts about Canadians? I also want to ask you, Chesu,
Yes.
how has this article impacted you?
Impacted like my life, or like my
life, writing, personally, professionally, etc. You mentioned people engaging about it online. How's that gone?
Oh my God, it's impacted me tremendously, because I also got people who maybe did not completely agree and who were like offended, which I didn't expect. I thought I think more people agreed than disagreed, but I got people who, I just got interaction and I got engagement, and I was really grateful, because I got to see both sides and see different perspectives. And yeah, I feel like it's definitely been a wow for me. Like, wow, people can engage with my writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Kachima, you know, I'm all over you, Kachima, because you are the first person to respond to the question, and we're going to show it to you. And she says, passive aggressive when it comes to niceness. See how it works, family? You put an answer in, and then you see the result. So passive aggressive. That's how it works. So anyone else, if you want to add to the comments, that'd be great. What was your mindset when you started this journey over this article, and what's your mindset now?
I feel like my mindset was just, I need to get the truth out. Like, when I have an idea, it's like I need to get it out. I need to put it out there in the best way that I can, and articulate it in the best way that I can. And now after the article, I am just, okay, how do I live it out? Like, how do I apply this to my life? Like, where do we go from here? Like, it's one thing to just write about it and make people aware about it, but how how do we move from it? How do we improve from it? And I feel like that's where I'm at currently. And I think part of it is having more, like having context, having more conversations about it, because just just like I think it was Ryan here who was saying before he left, is that he was like shocked by some of the things, right? There's a lot of people have written the article and they're like, I didn't even know this was I didn't even realize it was a thing.
Right.
So it's so nice to have that aha moment.
Mhm.
And it's like, great, how do we keep creating those aha moments, and how do we act on it as well to make sure that we fuel change?
Right. Naganga says Canadians are like that present in themselves as in Canadians are like that present themselves as that inside voice that's too timid to step up, but when they do. And then Sandusky, I think I know who this gentleman is. Sandusky, Ohio bro. As a Black American, I have met about 5 Black Canadians in my life. And they seem scared of Black Americans. We have nothing in common besides black skin. Interesting comment.
Interesting.
Very interesting comment. Nagang says, Canadians present themselves. Sorry for the typo. Ha ha ha. No problem. It's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed. You just, hey, this is a safe and brave space. You be yourself. You be yourself. Do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share with us? Because you do have a life. I could keep you on here for a few hours, but I know you need to get some things. And of course, expected mother, we need to have some rest. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with us today?
Wow. I would say just to challenge this culture by bringing in a culture that maybe is a hybrid of both. Just knowing that you can be nice, you can be polite, but you can still be honest in a loving way. And I think that is possibly the way forward. I think with this is just to be, okay, how do I articulate this in a nice and polite way without hiding the truth? And so I think that would just be my challenge to myself and to everyone listening.
Love it. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. Family still got comments coming in. Teresa says, I think Canadians are sort of carefree. That's an interesting statement. They're sort of carefree. I'd like to know what's meant by that. Sort of carefree. All right. No problem.
Maybe she meant passive.
Okay, Teresa says, "Wow, nice conclusion, Chess." So you brought your fan club. Nugu says, "Done out of expected social obligation, purely conversational, and to pass perceived anxieties in a first impression." All right, that's deep.
That's very
Okay,
deep.
Hayden says, "My experience in Canada."
100%.
All right, so you're resonating. All right, what's the next article?
Oh my! I have no
idea. This one's been enough for now, right?
I guess it's enough for now. Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Well, look, I want to say thank you for giving us the most important thing in your life, your time.
Oh, thank you.
To share with us. I'm speaking that you enjoyed our conversation today.
Yes.
And you are welcome anytime. We have to chat offline because I put something in your lap that you went, oh, okay.
Yes.
We need to chat about that. Let's see. Okay, the gang. Oh, what's this? Okay, people, when you put comments, make sure I can understand this. Okay, the gang says we all been waiting to ask. I don't know what we've been waiting to ask. Kachima says Magoo coming up in the deep end. You're bringing your family on here. Jiku, and if I get it wrong, it's my head and my heart. Let's go, Jess. All right, the fan club is in the house. The gang goes true, laughs. Mark Anthony says Congratulations, Chesu. What about your family? And Kachima
Thank
says,
you.
wonderful guest and host. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Okay, while we have it, I'm gonna, as we gradually get you out of the conversation, I'm gonna do another engagement because it gives me a idea to just get people's feedback on today's conversation. If you're watching the Dr. Vibe YouTube channel live, I'd like you to rate our conversation today. So, from 1 to 5, 1 being 5 being got out of the park, put whatever number you want from 1 to 5 in the chat on YouTube and hit enter, and we'll get feedback. Oh, look at this!
Oh, wow.
Right out of the gate.
Wow.
All right. We got to 5. So would love to get that. Oh, another 5. Look, look at this. Oh, look at this comment. And everyone who's voting, they're giving it 5s. Look at this.
Wow.
5. I love this. These 2 comments are amazing. We got some more comments here. So Nagang says, cannot fit it on a scale. Love that. Someone you know says, well done, Chesu. This was truly amazing. You better hug her up after, please, and thank you. Teresa goes, yes, enjoyed the show.
Oh.
And like lots of people are voting. Oh God, some Kachima put 8. We don't have 8 on our scale. But everyone who is voting, there is a number of people voting. Like each one of them is 5.
Wow.
Oh, look at this. Dr. Tachi says this was and she is of African. And maybe someone you'd like to chat with also.
Yes.
Dr. Tachi, yes. Dr. Tachi, would you like to want me to do an introduction between yourself and Chesu, because you both have African heritage?
Yes. Oh my God.
Niger goes, I'm here. Okay, I'm glad to hear that you're here. El Baptiste says, thank you for sharing your experiences.
Oh,
Nice.
thank you.
Kachima says, it indeed broke the scale. I love that. So I'm saying everyone, like I'm not putting in the comments, but you see everyone is voted 5 out of 5 for this conversation.
Wow.
You brought the fire.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No, well, more thanks to you. Wajiku says, thank you, Dr. Vibe. Thank you for showcasing Chesu's talent. Oh, there may be more to come. I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'm not going to say more than that. I'm not going to say more. That is fantastic. Well, I will say this to end off your part of the conversation today. As always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy.
Yeah.
Oh, look, and the gang says this was a great. Well, the comments are still coming in. A great way to start the morning off. Can't wait to see Chesu. Oh, what are you asking for something? You're back here. Hannah says, great stuff, Chesu. Totally authentic and very well articulated. Hayden says, by the way, her laugh is infectious. Hayden says. Ivy says, we need a lot. We need more. What? Have you? What was your role to take over?
No. This is your show.
No, it's everyone's show. It's not mine. If it was just me, it would have ended a long time ago. Man, the Morning Vibes family wants more of you. We have to chat then. We have to chat. All right, now I'll end it off. I will say, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. If you're not making money, make history, but try to do both. And finally, make it better.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you
It's
for
an
having
honor
me.
and a pleasure. Thank you, and you take care, and we'll be chatting soon. Be well and keep the faith.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, family. What a takeover. It seems that you like Chesu. Would you like more of her? It sounds like you would. All right, let's close it down. And thank you for the interaction. Like I said, everyone has rated this like a 5 out of 5. Everybody. That's fantastic to hear. Wonderful. Let's some more. Yeah, 5 to 4. Oh man, that's still like okay. Kachima says yes. Wajiku says yes. All right. some people have spoken. We'll see if we can make that happen. I will follow up with her today, not one day, today. And the gang says definitely a fan favorite. There we go. All right. Let's shut it down for today. Oh, Teresa says yes. Oh, her fan club is just driving things. All right, let's do this as we end it off today. As always, let's just do these things. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. So a number of people have been, I think, are in for the first time or newbies, especially watching on YouTube. If you are comfortable, please subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and also hit the notification button so you get notified of upcoming conversations. Over the next day or two, I'll be doing a show tomorrow morning, 5 p.m. Eastern time, and then 2 shows on Sunday, one at 5 p.m. Eastern time and 8 p.m. Eastern time. I'll give you what they are. Tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time live, prime time Saturday with Aisha and Lala, 2 wonderful African-American queens that try to make the sense and nonsense of what's going on politically and socially in America. Enough said. 5 p.m. this Sunday afternoon, Black Canada Talking with myself and with Cesar Nadima Musa, who is from Cameroon, one of the smartest people I know, giving his lens on different events politically and socially. And then 8 p.m. Sunday night, Black Men Can Talk with myself, Paul Osborne, and Kofi Morris, where we talk about things from a Black Canadian male lens. That's it. Right. So again, notification button, subscribe, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Also join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedr.com. Advertise your business product or service on the platform. Please email me at dr.vibe@thedr.com. What else? Oh, again, website for ByBlacks. ByBlacks.com, how you can get a hold of them. They are available. Website, ByBlacks.com. Instagram, ByBlacks. TikTok, at ByBlacks.com. X, ByBlacks. LinkedIn. It's too long for LinkedIn. Just put ByBlacks.com on LinkedIn. And then YouTube, at ByBlacks.dotcom.com. That's all the information there with them. Also, if you want to get in touch with Ryan, this is how you do it. And thank you, producer. I'm just doing something really quick here because things are just going like this has been a Chesu takeover today, which I absolutely love. I want the people that come on here to shine and want you to shine. Ryan, you can get a hold of him, Ryan Oneil Knight, and that's Knight, not N, Knight.com. LinkedIn, Ryan Oneil Knight. Instagram, at Ryan.Knight99. Email address, workwithme at RyanOneilKnight.com. Myself, if you want to get a hold of me, you can catch me website, the drvibeshow.com, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram, at The Dr. Vibe Show, X, at drvibeshow, and email address, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. That's where you can get a hold of me. Yes, and Blue Sky at drvibe.bsky.social. That's it. And you can watch replays of the Morning Vibe at the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Also, Afro Caribbean Business Network on Facebook and Ryan Oneil Knight on YouTube. We got through that. Fantastic. Thank you, everyone who watched this live on the replay. It's appreciated, not taken for granted. Can't do it without you, and I do it for you. 100%. So as always, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both and make it better. Again, thanks very much. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith and walk good.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn, juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh my God.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.